Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello! And it is Thursday, July 30th. So I've only got today and tomorrow with the Steampunk Tarot by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Ali Fell. And I will say it's been an exciting ride with the Steampunk Tarot. I have a new deck and I will surprise everybody with it tomorrow. So it was gifted to me to borrow just for the month of August by a friend, and hopefully she will allow me to say her name on here. I'm sure she will message me if it's okay. And it's a fun deck. It's a beautiful deck. It's also another very dark deck, so lighting being what it is. So, without further ado, let's see what card we have from the Steampunk Tarot on this Thursday. All right. The Seven of Swords. Swords to me often represent a little more of the dramatic, a little more of the kind of maybe not bad things in life, but things that are a little more chaotic, things that require us to be a little more on guard. Pun. Anyway, so with the Seven of Swords, I really like this representation of it. It's not far off from the typical traditional rendition of this card. So we have, though, in the back, which usually the swords are kind of over a mantelpiece or stuck in the ground, kind of. But in this case, they're actually part of a decoration. So they are not swords that this person could steal away with. But they are extra swords up in there, which is really kind of interesting because it looks like she's got all seven swords in her arms. Let's see if I can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only count 6, but that could just be me. I don't know. It's hard to tell. There's a big cluster of them, and I'm counting them by the tops rather than the bottoms. It would be really funny, though, if, like, see, in the points I only count 5. It'd be really funny if they accidentally, the artist just didn't put in a 7th sword. Anyway, typically this card on the very basic level has to do with theft of some kind. Theft or secrets or something being secreted away or stolen away or taken. In this case too, and I like this because she's dressed very flamboyantly, really. She's got like these striped stockings on. She's got an interesting collar going on up there. So she's not a subtle dresser, even though everyone in this deck is kind of in muted tones. She's got some variety going on. This card can also be a card of kind of individuality. It can be a card of wanting to be separate from the whole, wanting to be separate from society. And in a way, that's kind of a theft as well, because you're like, I'm stealing back my independence, if you will, from the whole, from a greater society. It's the motivations behind this card that make it either positive or negative. So obviously, in the very pure sense, if it is in the physical where someone is stealing something, that's a negative. But if it's someone who's kind of reclaiming their individuality or stealing back a part of themselves from society, it's about the motivations. So if you choose to be kind of more individual because you feel repressed and you feel like you're not getting things that you really need to survive, that makes sense. But if you're doing it just to kind of be rebellious, that teenage kind of, I'm just causing trouble to cause trouble, I'm just not listening because I just don't want to listen, authority means nothing to me, society means nothing to me, I just want things to be crazy and chaotic, that's a little bit different in your motivations. I like to look at this card as kind of a what would you do if? So if given the opportunity to steal away with anything that you wanted from society and kind of make it your own, what would you do with that? How would you approach it? So if you look though, she's still kind of looking back at the society that she's taking from. And society's watchful eye, which it is kind of an Illuminati sort of eye going on back there, is still watching her. It's still looking out after her. But you'll notice the doors are closed. No one is coming after her. No one is forcing her to stay. So in some respects, society is okay with you going and taking whatever you think you need to take. So keep that in mind too. In the greater spectrum of things, how important is it what was stolen away? How important is your individuality to the greater whole? How important is it that you go and do something crazy just to upset the tea kettle? How many are really going to notice if you're just being rebellious and having a little fun and causing a little mischief? The other side of it is when something is stolen, a physical object is stolen, sometimes we really lose our minds about it. We freak out. We can't handle it. If somebody lies and takes something from us in the intellectual sense too, we kind of get in a panic about it. But in the grand, greater scheme of things, what is its value really? How much was it worth to you? And in the long term, can it be replaced? Is it worth chasing after this thief on principle, or is letting them get away with it kind of just going, I've learned to let go and I've learned to do something a little different with my life because of this? So those are some of the things that I kind of gather from this card when it comes up in a reading. You can read it in the very physical sense of theft. You can read it in the kind of more obscure emotional side of it of reclaiming your independence from something. But again, it all depends on how you interpret the card. I do love the way this card is laid out, and I really like the Illuminati symbolism for society and things that are watching over us, because I feel like at least in the steampunk world, that's a big deal. The whole Illuminati and the Golden Dawn and those kinds of things were big, important pieces of that era and in conspiracies of that time period. I think some of them are still conspiracies of this time period. So, but anyway, I really enjoyed this card. I hope you did too. And I hope so far you've really enjoyed the Steampunk Tarot and my interpretations and opinions on it. So, if, as always, if you're interested in Tarot Cafe or lessons or readings, please check out the link for my website in the description below. If you just want to check out some of the other things that we've talked about with respect to the Steampunk Tarot and the other decks that we've looked at, check out the playlist that's listed at the end of this video and kind of take a look at some of those. And you can just run the whole playlist. It's always interesting to see what cards we've brought up and looked at and the differences between them. So until next time, until tomorrow, have a wonderful Thursday. Relax, stay cool, stay healthy, and most of all, peace out, be good to each other, all of those kinds of things. Bye!